Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Tuesday evening. As always, we bring you the latest news, economic news, community stories, sports, weather, and so much more. I am Glenora Shipura. Leading us into the news tonight, Midco's acting CEO and executive for livestock procurement and production, Patrick Liebenberg, was suspended Monday pending an internal investigation. The announcement was made by the board of directors in a statement addressed to employees. The board said the suspension aims to facilitate an independent investigation and assured staff that whistleblowers will be granted the necessary protection throughout the process. To this end, the board has, in the interim, appointed Kingsley Kwenani as acting CEO effective from Tuesday, the 15th of July 2025 until the 31st of August 2025. Or until the external second-man acting appointment is finalized by the Ministry of Finance, the board explained. Liebenberg was appointed to the acting CEO role for 6 months in January this year. While the board did not disclose specific reasons for Liebenberg's suspension, the announcement comes just weeks after some employees submitted a formal petition calling for his removal, citing alleged discrimination and mismanagement within the company. The 12th of June petition addressed to Midco management accused Liebenberg of favoring white staff while unfairly targeting black employees for disciplinary action. The letter, signed by shop steward chairperson Joseph Kambala, cited a case involving a white manager who allegedly faced no consequences despite confirmed misconduct. There is a clear discrepancy in the way disciplinary matters are handled, raising serious concerns about favoritism, racism, and a lack of accountability, the letter stated. Among the allegations raised was the alleged disappearance of over 400 head of cattle under Midco's livestock procurement department. Employees claimed the missing animals were linked to individuals known to the acting CEO and alleged that substantial funds were channeled through a service provider at Camille Drift, raising red flags about possible corruption and asset mismanagement. The petition further called on the government to appoint a permanent CEO and to terminate contracts with external service providers at Midco's Camille Drift and Okapuka feedlots. Employees argue that the outsourcing arrangement undermines Midco's sustainability and facilitates potential abuse of company resources. In the internal communication, the board urged staff to support Kwenani in his interim role and to treat the investigation as a legal process that presumes innocence until proven otherwise. In our next story, Oshana Governor Hofni Ipingi this morning officiated the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the Namibian Oncology Center, NOC, and the medical image half of Omaheke rely on the aid, the governor saying facility in Ogwediva. Let's have a look.
To at least bring hope for our people that they're supposed to travel 600 kilometers from the northern area to Windhoek to receive this special treatment of this higher quality. So therefore, we don't need to travel anymore. You just travel less than 10 kilometers if you are coming from Sati or Hangwena or Skoto, and those who are in Oshana, you are home. So this is the hope that you are bringing to our people to make sure that our people, they have early detection of cancer and many other diseases. So we are doing the groundbreaking here in Ogwediva, and I already spoke to the investors that I don't want to do the groundbreaking, and it will take 3 months again without putting up any foundation. So my symbol of doing the groundbreaking here, tomorrow or this week, I will pass by here to see if you started. I don't want to do groundbreaking and nothing is happening. So we are giving hope to the Namibian people out there so that they know that yes, there's something going on in Ongwediva, Oshana region, and that is what we are doing now.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Awesome. In our next story, medium-scale farmers operating at the Sikondo Green Scheme in Kavango West say they are buried in debts of up to 800,000 Namibian dollars each, with rising production costs and lack of support leaving them unable to make a profit or contribute meaningfully to the country's food security. This was revealed during Prime Minister Elijah Ngurare's visit to the Green Scheme on Monday, part of his broader inspection tour of development projects in the Kavango East and West regions. Speaking as a group with each farmers given a turn to raise concerns, the growers painted a grim picture of life under what they described as a mismanaged and unsupported agricultural setup. There are some of us that owe commercial banks. We have accumulated debts of 700,000 Namibian dollars to 800,000 Namibian dollars. We are unable to settle this because we are not making any profits, said one farmer, as others nodded in agreement. He added, profit is number one, food production is second, but how can we produce if the input costs are killing us? The farmer shared a recent quotation for their next plantation season, totaling 486,000 Namibian dollars just for seeds, chemicals, and fertilizers. This is what's stressing us, and that's not even including electricity for irrigation. While the scheme provides water for farming, the cost of electricity used to pump it to their plots is shared among farmers, often without transparency, they argued. They also raised long-standing frustrations about not receiving salary increases since Agribus Dev, the parastatal managing the scheme, which took over several years ago. When we approach Agribus Dev, they tell us we fall under the ministry, but when we go to the ministry, they say we belong to Agribus Dev. We are stuck in the middle, said another. They further claimed their companies are not recognized when applying for loans. We want to benefit, but when we go to banks, they say your company is not recognized. So we are in the darkness, one farmer lamented. Sikondo Green Scheme Manager Maxwell Ngihindinwa acknowledged the burden, particularly electricity costs, but said efforts are underway to fix the billing system. We've asked ministry engineers to help us find a fair and transparent way of measuring electricity use for irrigation. But yes, the cost is unbearable and it's killing profitability, he added. If these farmers were operating at full capacity, their output combined with the commercial side could make a real impact on food production, he further stated. In our next story, fraud-accused businessman Peter Elindi claims he never received a written notice of breach from NAMCOR, despite facing criminal charges linked to a disputed 2022 fuel supply agreement. Represented by defense lawyer Cesar Namanje, Elindi told the Windhoek Magistrates Court that neither he nor Enercon Namibia, which he chaired, were formally warned of any contractual violation. The Financial Intelligence Center allegedly uncovered over $60 million in suspicious NAMCOR payments linked to private accounts of the 9 accused in the NAMCOR-Enercon case. These transactions were made under the guise of acquiring fuel storage assets. The deal ultimately left NAMCOR exposed to over $380 million in unpaid debts. Namanje led Elindi through the contract's clause requiring a written notice and 14 working days to remedy any breach. Elindi repeatedly said he could not recall receiving such notice. Furthermore, he stated NAMCOR never raised issues about incorrect payments or in National Rehab Center priority. That concludes our top stories. We will continue with the news on the other side of this.
Running a business isn't just about hitting the big milestones, it's also about handling the day-to-day. From equipping your office, to closing deals over lunch, to managing your team's expenses while they're on the go. Now, with the FNB Business Credit Card, you can handle everyday expenses with ease. Enjoy up to 44 days of interest-free credit, unlimited swipes, and real-time expense tracking, so you're always in control. Apply for an FNB Business Credit Card. Contact us today to get started. FNB, how can we help you?
Moving over in our community talk, Erongo Governor Natalia Rojas has told contractors appointed for the first phase of the Farm 37 mass housing project that she will rather not tolerate hearing reports of a contractor that disappeared after being made. She made the remarks earlier today at the groundbreaking ceremony where $81 million have been availed by both the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development, $75 million as well as Municipality of Walvis Bay with $6 million to construct 200 houses as part of Phase 1. Let's take a look at what the governor had to say.
No money shall be given, no advance payment. Inspectors, the technocrats that I have seen here, you are going to evaluate. You are going to give the inspection reports. I am not going to tolerate a situation to be told this contractor has abandoned, he got the money, he's no more. I don't want those type of reports, you the technocrats. I'm coming with examples. Madam CEO, every penny, even the government moved, is using the money from the residents of this country, taxpayers' money. So every penny that is availed for this particular penny project shall be used for that intended purpose. No inflated prices, no booty, no whatsoever. It is meant to give houses. Build as quick as possible, don't compromise on quality, but finish your given numbers of houses so that during the next phase we can call you back.
Getting into the economic news, more than $320 million has been invested in key development programs in the Khomas region over the past year, targeting unemployment, hunger, housing, and sanitation. Delivering his State of the Region address recently, Khomas Governor Sam Nujoma said the region's unemployment rate stands at 44.4%. This has prompted targeted interventions through the Regional Council's Income Generating Activities program, under which small and medium enterprises are assisted with equipment and materials. He said $2.5 million was spent supporting 144 SME projects ranging from catering and fashion design to welding, laundry services, and arts and crafts to stimulate rural economies. The governor stated that the council had allocated $312 million for development projects. This included microfinancing for small enterprises, food security programs, and the provision of livestock to farmers in rural areas. 3 projects were supported under the microfinance scheme, 10 under the food security program, and 8 rural farmers received a combined total of 120 goats. Nujoma said council moreover constructed 194 dry toilets at a cost of $2.9 million to address sanitation challenges, particularly in rural areas of the region. These initiatives created short-term employment opportunities for 61 individuals in the Windhoek rural constituency, the governor said. In response to the region's housing shortage, the Khomas Regional Council contributed to the construction of low-cost houses under the Informal Settlement Upgrading Pilot Project. Additionally, government approved $3 million for the construction of the Komonen Traditional Authority Office. These are small but significant steps towards improving living conditions for our communities, said Nujoma. Under its Winter Safety Net program, Council allocated $500,000 to provide blankets and warm clothing to approximately 1,100 vulnerable persons. A similar amount was spent on assisting 411 learners with school uniforms and stationery under the Back to School program. Nujoma also highlighted the Office of the Prime Minister's interventions, including drought relief initiatives in rural areas. These included food support for 5,547 households and livestock marketing incentives worth $3.6 million. Furthermore, through collaboration with the Windhoek Municipal Council, a range of youth-focused initiatives were also implemented, including finalizing the Sports and Recreational Facilities Master Plan, supporting orphans and vulnerable children, and vocational training initiatives. A total of 3,565 orphans and vulnerable persons were supported directly and indirectly through activities such as soup kitchens, skills development in sewing and gardening, case management at Katutura Old Age Home, and girls mentorship, said the governor. Likewise, 538 aspiring entrepreneurs were trained under the Youth Business Training Program, while 700 graduates were placed through the Internship and Graduate Program. Moving over to our next economic news, sky-high electricity bills, crippling procurement delays, and outdated management structures continue to undermine Namibia's green schemes, with farm managers warning that unless these structural issues are urgently addressed, the government's agricultural ambitions will remain out of reach. These came to the fore on Monday during the high-level visit by Prime Minister Elijah Ngurare and Agriculture Minister Inge Dhamwani Kamwi to various green scheme projects in the Kavango region. We now swing over to our economic financial updates. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 24.05, against the euro at 20.89, against the US dollar at 17.91. 2 Namibian dollars and 50 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. The commodities market, gold went up while copper, platinum, and Brent crude oil went down. Brent crude oil trading at 0.12%, going for $69 and 75 cents per barrel.
Running a business isn't just about hitting the big milestones, it's also about handling the day-to-day. From equipping your office, to closing deals over lunch, to managing your team's expenses while they're on the go. Now, with the FNB Business Credit Card, you can handle everyday expenses with ease. Enjoy up to 44 days of interest-free credit, unlimited swipes, and real-time expense tracking, so you're always in control. Apply for an FNB Business Credit Card. Contact us today to get started. FNB, how can we help you?
Getting into our international news, aid workers executed in Ethiopia's Tigray war, charity says. An investigation by Medicine Sans Frontiers (MSF) has found evidence that Ethiopian army soldiers were responsible for the 2021 execution-style killings of 3 MSF staff in the Tigray region. Spanish aid workers Maria Hernandez Matas, 35, and Ethiopian colleagues Johannes Helefum Reda, 32, and Tedros Gebremariam, 31, were gunned down on the 24th of June while assessing medical needs in central Tigray. MSF Spain's General Director Rafael Ayora told the BBC that the three were executed at close range despite wearing MSF vests and driving a clearly marked vehicle. So they knew they were killing humanitarian aid workers, she said. Mr. Tedros had just become a father. His daughter was later named Maria in memory of his Spanish colleague. The charity's internal report found a retreating Ethiopian military convoy was present at the scene, a claim supported by satellite imagery and eyewitness accounts, including one who heard a commander order the attack. Despite 20 meetings with the government, MSF says no credible explanation has been offered. The killings occurred during heightened hostility towards aid workers amid the brutal Tigray conflict, which claimed an estimated 600,000 lives. We now move over to the weather predictions for tomorrow. The capital city can expect a minimum of 9 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 23 degrees Celsius with sunny weather conditions, while Katima Mulilo can expect a minimum of 11 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius, also with sunny weather conditions. Ramsplay can expect a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius, also with sunny weather conditions, while Henties Bay can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 11 and a maximum of 16 degrees Celsius. We'll now head over to the sports desk, proudly brought to you by Sportsrep.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with cycling news first. It is Tour de France that continued on Bastille Day, the 14th of July. Big day for Simon Yates of Great Britain. He won stage 10. It was over 163 kilometers. It was difficult. It was in the mountains. There were 8 categorized climbs, but it was Simon Yates winning. And then it was Tijmen Arensman of the Netherlands in second position in stage 10, 9 seconds behind Simon Yates. And in third position, it was Ben Healy, and he's from Ireland. Great performance by Healy. He now is the owner of the yellow jersey. Quite a performance from the Irishman. He came in third position in stage 10, and it was the leader, Tadej Pogačar, that was 4 minutes and 51 seconds behind the leader. So that means now that it is Healy with the yellow jersey, and it is 29 seconds behind him, Tadej Pogačar, now in second position. On to cricket news. It is a test cricket. It was exciting test cricket being played in England. It is England hosting India, and it's England winning the third test. They won it by 22 runs, quite a tight finish. It was on day 5, and it was at Lords where they played the third test, and it is now England that lead the series by 2-1. It was India that needed 193 runs to win in their final innings. They were bowled out for 170. Then also Australia beat the West Indies by 176 runs. That was in the third and final test, and New Zealand, or Australia rather, that win that series by 3-0. Quite an embarrassing second innings for the West Indies. They were bowled out in the second innings for just 27 runs. It is the second lowest total ever in the history of Test cricket. The lowest is 26 by New Zealand in 1955, and it is Australia that win the series now 3-0. Great performance by Scott Boland. He got a hat-trick in the innings, and also it was Mitchell Starc that got 6 wickets. To close off today's international sports news, it is football news. It is from Newcastle, leading up to the English Premier League that starts in a few weeks. It is Newcastle that hope to sign the French striker, that is Hugo Ekitike, and he's just 23 years old. He's playing for Eintracht Frankfurt, but it's Newcastle that's hoping to pay 70 million euros for his services. Earlier also, it was Newcastle that confirmed the signing of Anthony Elanga. He's from Nottingham Forest. He came over from Nottingham Forest. He plays for Sweden, and he's also a forward and a winger. So that is news from Newcastle in the English Premier League. So that is sport news on international sports news. I hope you have a great sport day. We talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Do make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneupto.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. This has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.